So Travis sent me an email about a month ago asking me to come here on a Sunday morning and share my testimony. And my first reaction to that was some testimonies are just too boring to share in front of a large group of people. And I think that part of that is because we're trained to think of testimonies as following a very specific formula that usually results in some kind of human conquest. And I think the formula goes like this: I once was lost, now I'm found, and now I'm fine. For anybody who has a testimony like that, I think that's a great thing, but my testimony is not a testimony that goes like that. And I think that for many, that formula doesn't speak to the reality of lived experience as Christians. I was raised in a Christian home and grew up coming here to church, Bonner Baptist, and I'm extremely thankful for both of those experiences. And they were very formative for me, to the point where I would say that I've never really struggled with believing that God exists. However, I have had other struggles and plenty of questions as it pertains to faith. And I went off to seminary to explore those questions and have recently returned to work here at North Star Community with my mom, which is a ministry founded by Bon Air, and we continue to work intimately with Bon Air. We see ourselves as a resource, both to Bon Air members and to the community at large, for people who are struggling with issues of addiction, abuse, and the like. Up until seminary, people might have referred to me as a virtuous person. And I don't think this is because I actually was one, but I think it was because I don't think I'd been appropriately tested. I grew up watching my mom work with people dealing with issues of addiction and abuse, and so drugs and alcohol, they weren't really much of a temptation for me. And to this day, I've never tried drugs, and I rarely drink alcohol. However, I found out in seminary that there's a lot more temptations in this world than just drugs and alcohol. If it's fair to say that your first real temptation is your first real test of character, then I found out while I was in seminary that I didn't have as much character as I had thought or hoped. Drugs and alcohol were not something that had anything to offer me, but when I found something that I thought would end my loneliness, I discovered new areas of weakness within myself. When I failed my character test, I realized that my problem is not the ability to believe that God exists, as I said earlier, but the ability to live as if God existed. I found that faith is more than just the ability to cognitively affirm that God exists or to be able to emotionally feel His presence, but to be able to live a specific kind of way in light of your beliefs and experiences. Today, I'm in the process of continually trying to reevaluate my life to make sure that it matches up with what I say that I believe. I think that my testimony does not necessarily follow a formula. My story is not one of going from nothing to something, of going from rags to riches, so much as it is about learning the importance of living a repentant lifestyle. In dealing with the consequences of my own actions, I've developed a passion for trying to communicate the relationship between faith and acting on your convictions. And this is a message that I brought back with me to North Star and by association to Bon Air. I believe that the idea of returning to God is the backbone of our ministry, which is geared towards people whose lives are spiraling out of control. And if you find yourself feeling this way today, then we're here to be a resource to you.